I'll start with some introductions, beginning with myself. My name is Jessica Record, and I'm the Executive Director of EduConnect USA. And I believe a lot of you have been working with EduConnect USA already. EduConnect USA is Alliant's official international recruitment partner. So EduConnect USA is the additional layer of support that we give to our international students, because we know that applying to a university can be hard enough. And then when you're out of the country, some of you have been to the USA, some of you have not. There's a whole additional range of steps and challenges that you go through. So our role at EduConnect USA is to make sure that you have the support you need through finding the right program for you, making sure it's a good fit for you.
Jessica,
yes.
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. Someone in the chat said that they can't hear you, so I'm just...
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going. So we provide that extra layer of support from the very beginning for when you're looking for your program, making sure it's a good fit for what you're looking for, to the application process, making sure when you submit all your documents that they're the correct documents, that you get them on time, that they're received. And then after you are admitted with the visa process as well. So making sure that you get your I-20, making sure helping you if you need help getting your visa date, and then any assistance that you need preparing for your visa appointment. So we do personalized visa information sessions for each of our students. That's something that we offer everybody. So if you haven't taken advantage of that, please do so. So everything until you arrive, that's our role. So we work hand in hand with Alliant. We're kind of assisting you at the same time. On this call, so this meeting today, we're talking about the MBA at Alliant. And I want to introduce to you our special guests that will go over the school and the program with you. We have the Dean of the California School of Management and Leadership at Alliant, Dr. Rashna Kumar. And then we also have the program director for the MBA program, and that's Dr. Saba Oziert. So they'll be addressing some of the major points of the program, things that you may already know, but a lot of things you may not know. And then we'll have a lot of time at the end for questions and answers. And then I also just want to make sure to introduce the person, our host, who is going through all the slides, Radhika, who is our social media coordinator. If you have been following us on EduConnect or seeing anything like that, that's all Radhika. So she's working on getting, interviewing our students so that she can provide that information to you, providing information about the city and the program, pictures of the campus for a lot of you who aren't here to see it firsthand. So that is it for me. And I will, my next role will be to answer questions at the end if there's any questions about admissions or the visa process. So please feel free to put them in the chat at any time. And just know that we'll address those at the end of the presentation. So please put them in there and then we'll get to them at the very end. All right, thank you. And next up is Dean Kumar.
Thank you, Jessica. Welcome to everyone. Just like Jessica said, you may be in a different time zone, but it is morning here in California, sunny morning in California. That's one of the advantages of California and San Diego. We are always in a sunny morning. And so that is a good way to start the day, always, every day. Welcome to this session. And we are very happy to be able to meet you and talk to you a little bit. I'm the Dean for California School of Management and Leadership, CSML in short. CSML is the business school for Alliant. And our aim for this hour or this meeting is to be able to tell you a little bit about the university, a little bit about the school, and your program, which is the MBA for this hour. I wanted to also tell you, wow, what is the purpose of telling you about the university and the school? You might say, just let me know about my program. What will I study there? However, it is really important to know which university you are coming to, which program, which school you're coming to. Why is that? Because you want the university to be very solid, very reputed, have a long history, and be something that you be proud to quote forever and ever. You may be applying and studying today, but guess what? You'll very soon graduate. You'll very soon be an alumni. And for always, every promotion, every new job, in your resume, you will say, I have an MBA from CSML in Alliant International University. And so it's very important for students to make sure that these two places are reputed, are solid, and will be with you forever and ever. You do not want to apply for a new job and someone said, this university just started 2 years ago. So let me come to Alliant International University. Alliant has 4 pillars that we always make sure that we drive forward with. The first one is education for professional practice and practical training. So you spend time in the classroom. You have your program, which teaches you about the model and the theories and the knowledge needed in the classroom. Along with that, we believe that that is not enough. We have to have students engaged in professional practice and practical training. Soon after you finish your degree, you will go out there into a job, into a consulting, into a career where you will start applying what you learned in the classroom. And we want to make sure that you're very strong when you start doing this in your careers. And practical training is the way to start applying what you learn in the classroom. So we, in our programs, in CSML's programs and the MBA in particular, because everyone here is interested in the MBA, what we have is we allow you and we support you in doing practical training from day one, all throughout your program. You may have heard this as practical training. Sometimes it's called CPT, Curricular Practical Training. So practical training is part of the curriculum. It's woven into the curriculum, and therefore you can start doing practical training, CPT, from day one throughout the program. And that's one of the main pillars for CSML, the business school, as well as for Alliant International University. The second pillar is scholarship. And this refers to the research, the quest of knowledge and what you learn. And this is, Alliant is very rigorous on that. We are known for ensuring that students know and learn in the classroom. And so the scholarship, the study is very important. The third one is multicultural and international competence. Why is that important? Multicultural and international competence, this is important because one, this is a global world. You know very well that today you may be working in one country, located or based in another country. Your team may be in another country. That's the global aspect of it. Additionally, multicultural, your colleagues, your teammates, your boss, your own team, those who report to you, may be of any culture, maybe of any ethnicity. So it's really important to be able to be familiar with who you work for, who you work with, and how you will make a difference and grow in your career. It is also important, very important for students for another reason, and that is that if we as a university give importance to multicultural and international competence, you will be very much within your comfort zone. You will never wonder, should I speak up? Should I ask this question? Should I go to the professor? Should I go to my student support? We are all very comfortable with multicultural, multi-ethnicity, and that makes you be comfortable, be in a comfort zone, and be yourself. Because after all, you have to be yourself to grow as yourself, and then be a success in your career, in your chosen career. So it's really important that you look for a place and you be in a place to study where your strength and who you are is celebrated, is actually respected, and is actually encouraged. We do that, Alliant does that, and CSML does that. Community engagement is about networking. As you study, you will have companies, leaders, professionals who will come talk to you. You will work in practical training. And so community engagement is something that will always make it very easy for you to assimilate after you graduate and do well in your careers. So always look for these. Next slide, please. Now let's tell you about the diversity and the footprint of Alliant. Footprint means you want to be in a university that is not located in one little campus. It is located all over California. So Alliant has 6 campuses, Southern California as well as Northern California. We are in San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Irvine, Fresno, and Sacramento. Sacramento is definitely Northern California. Fresno is kind of south to north, southern to northern, in between. So we have campuses in California. We have disciplines. That's another thing that will tell you that the university is very wide, diverse, has a wide footprint. Anywhere you go to, who are the folks who are the alumni, graduated from the university. So we have schools and programs in business, which is us, psychology, forensics, education, and law. We also actually have a medical school in Mexico City. And so this tells you that the university is very varied. It has a wide footprint and has impacts in so many different disciplines. It's not a school and a university that has just one program, MBA, or just one discipline, business administration. And that tells you how solid and good the university is. We have been, Alliant has been in business or been offering degrees and graduating students for almost 100 years. And that tells you how reputed, quality-oriented, and solid this university is. Don't ever look at a university that has been around for 2 years, 5 years. You want a university that has proved that they have programs and students that do well through their study period as well as after they graduate. One last slide, I think, for me. Radhika, one more slide. Yes. How do you ensure that the university has quality, reputation, recognition? You ensure that by knowing that the university has been around for that many years, long history, like the 100 years that we were saying, plus they are accredited. So Alliant has been accredited for many decades, more than 3 decades, by WASC. WASC is a regional accreditation agency. And the interesting thing to know about accreditation is that the regional accreditation is the coveted one. That is the one that is the diamond and gold standard, not the national accreditation. I don't want to take away from national accreditation, but that is not the difficult one to get, is the regional one. Every university aims for the regional accreditation, and WASC is it. All the large universities you may have heard about, Harvard, Princeton, Yale, they go for regional accreditation. So Alliant has had regional accreditation not for 5 years, not for 10 years, more than 3 decades. That tells you a lot about this university. Individual schools, the business school, for example, is WASC accredited, but additionally, they can go for specialty accreditation. And in business areas, ACBSP is one specialty accreditation. Business school, CSML, is accredited with ACBSP. Again, these accreditations, these are like seals of approval. Make sure that you are confident of the study and the degree that you are studying with and that you graduate with. Always keep an eye on the future. So we succeed only when you succeed. And so when you finish the degree and you go out there you become the alumni, and now you're growing in your career. You are succeeding, and so we want to make sure that our success is tied to yours. Accreditation, rigor, quality, professional practice, all of those essentially are here to work for you to ensure your success. So that's what Alliant is about. That's what CSML is about. And I want to make sure that we talk a little bit about this so that you have the confidence that Alliant and CSML is here for your success, and the way you will assess that the Alliant and CSML is long-standing, long history, long accreditation, rigor, and quality is by looking at these things that I just talked about. Radhika, next slide, please. Okay. Remember I said we are in many different disciplines. So this tells you the programs that CSML, the business school, is offering. And again, you can see we have doctoral programs, which after master's, you can go into doctoral. And so we have a DBA and a PhD in leadership. And we have several graduate programs, not just MBA that Dr. Oziut will just start telling you about, but we have MS programs, which are into the management of tech fields. And so we have graduate programs, master's programs, MBA, MS, doctoral programs, and several certificate programs. All of this goes to tell you you'll be joining a school that has diverse programs, large footprint, many, many different alumni already working in very many successful jobs. So with that, I will now hand over to our program director, Dr. Oziut, for the next slides.
Thank you very much, Dean Kumar, and welcome to everybody to the MBA information session. It's a pleasure to see everybody here. I am Dr. Sabah Oziut. I'm the program director for the MBA program. And I will be going over, as Dean Kumar mentioned, the program details. And obviously, if you have any questions at the end, I will be happy to answer any additional questions you may have. So the MBA program is actually designed intentionally and specifically to provide our students the knowledge in business management and leadership areas to prepare our students for their careers, in addition to making sure that they are putting that knowledge and skill set that they learn in the classroom into application while they are in the program. So Dean Kumar mentioned in the beginning, practical training, curricular practical training, CPT, those are all terms and terminologies that we use to explain how we designed our program, not only be in the classroom, but also apply that knowledge in the actual world. And we do that in multiple ways, one of which is we support our students. We have a practical training or professional development coordinator in office that will help you, our students, find practical training sites. Sometimes they're called internship sites, or projects. So either through projects that you work with your faculty members or with certain clients, or by actually being in a workplace that you complete that requirement in our program. So you are required to be a student and also apply that knowledge in the practical world. And that is, as I said, by design, because as you know, in this day and age, only knowing something theoretically is not enough. You really should be able to apply it to see how it's applied, how it's learned in the actual workplace. So we want our students to gain that knowledge and that experience while they are students in our programs. And that is important because we're really preparing you for the next step. You are here with us in the program for about a year, or 14 months at most. And after that, you are in the real world, finding your career and looking at the options that you have. And you are getting ready. You have this advantage because we are preparing you for that next step in your professional career while you are a student in our program. We have 2 tracks in the MBA program. They are the one and the same, meaning the curriculum is the same, the learning objectives are the same, and the outcomes and the time to completion is exactly the same. The only difference is some students prefer to be students and they want to go to school and have their classes every week. That is much more structured, especially for some international students, that is really important. And other cases, students may say, you know, I am working somewhere a little bit further from the location, so I would like to be in what we call an executive or practical training track. So in that case, students will come to class on the weekends, 1 weekend a month and twice a term. So during your course term, which is 8 weeks or 2 months, you are going to be in the classroom 2 long weekends of the term. So in the meantime, though, while you're not in the classroom, while you're away, you still have some online engagements, Zoom classes and projects and assignments. So you are a student still throughout. Every week you are doing something, you're learning and you're submitting assignments and doing work, and you're meeting with your fellow students and your instructor on Zoom, but you are physically on campus on the weekends. Whereas the more traditional weekday evening classes, you come to class every week and you meet with your faculty member every week and your fellow students every week. So it is more traditional learning format. There is ability to switch between the 2 tracks. So you are not locked into one track. Let's say you may start with a more traditional evening format, and then you may find a work or internship location in San Francisco, let's say, and then you can easily transfer to our executive practical training track and then kind of follow that modality. Next slide, please. I already mentioned a little bit the curricular practical training. We also call it executive track now. That is 1 weekend per month, and that is an extended long weekend. So you will be in the classroom about 12 to 15 hours because we have contact hours that we have to meet, and students have to meet with their faculty member and their fellow students. And we want to make sure that you're gaining the knowledge and the experience that you need by being in the classroom and having that engagement and experience. 2 weekends total per term, and there will be lectures, group projects, and other assignments in the class while you're in the classroom, as well as online instructional activity, asynchronous discussions, assignments, and submissions, as I mentioned earlier. So you are engaged throughout every week, throughout the term. Next slide, please. And this is our curriculum. You will complete 12 courses for a total of 36 units, which means every course is 3 units. And there are 9 what we call core courses, which the next slide will show you some examples. And we have also concentration courses, because what we realized as we were going through our program is that it's not enough to have the core courses and understand everything in broad general terms, but we want our students to have an expertise, a concentration, a specialization in their field. So we offer 4 concentrations or specializations, which I will show in the next slide, that students can choose from, ranging from digital marketing to information systems and technology, and to management and leadership, to hospitality management. So you will have that opportunity in your program to not only understand the breadth, but also the depth of a particular area that you want to specialize in. Courses are offered in 8-week terms. I have a couple of more things to say, Radhika, sorry. Courses are offered in 8-week terms, meaning 2 months is each term. And we would like students to take 2 courses every term. That is the full-time status. That will allow students to complete the program quickly in a 1-year period. And we want, again, students to complete their degrees successfully and go to better things in their careers. And I want to also mention just very briefly the fast track option that our students will have. While you're completing your MBA program, you have the option to take some doctoral level courses if you choose to. That is what we call the fast track. A lot of our MBA students actually take advantage of this opportunity and continue into our doctoral programs. Dean Kumar mentions, we have a DBA as well as a PhD in leadership. So if you're interested in that, again, it's a little bit too soon at this point, but if you're interested in that, once you become our students, once you're in our program, do talk to your academic advisor or myself, and we can direct you into that. And those courses, doctoral courses, will qualify for your MBA program. So you're kind of feeding two birds with one seed, if you will. Next slide, please. These are some examples of our core courses, from international marketing to organizational behavior, strategic management, statistical analysis, and many other fields. I just want to say a couple of things about our capstone course, which is one of the last courses students will take towards the end of their degree. And that is kind of a culminating experience that ties everything together, everything that you have learned in other classes, your finance, your marketing, your technology, you put into an application, working with either a client or a virtual case where you, again, apply. Students work in teams. It mimics the actual working environment in the global companies. You're in teams, in multicultural teams, where every student is doing one task, and finally you produce something at the end for your clients. So it is a wonderful experience, again, something that prepares our students for the real world after graduation. Next slide, please. Yes, and these are the concentrations that I just mentioned about: digital marketing, information and technology management, management and leadership, and hospitality management. Again, you do not have to decide at this point. When you enter the program, you will have sufficient time to decide after you become our student, but make sure that you talk about that with your academic advisor once you are in the program. I believe that is the end of the MBA program. Again, if you have any questions, more specific questions, I'm happy to answer.
So at this point, if you have questions, please let us know or put them in the chat box. And while we are waiting for questions here, I want to add a couple things. I know that most of you are admitted for the August term, so we're really excited to see you coming in August. And a few of you have your visas already, which is great. So for those students who have their visas, we're here to help you make sure that your relocation goes smoothly. So if you have questions about housing, that's a frequent question, and we can help with that. Real quick before I move on, I just want to mention that we are scheduling another information session that's going to be specifically focused on the visa process. So that's going to be a general session that answers a lot of frequently asked general questions, but we also have individual meetings that we schedule as well, because depending on the country you come from, depending on, a lot of different factors, your experience might be a little different. So keep that in mind for the future. So if anything doesn't get covered today, we have the general session coming up, and you can always schedule individual sessions. And I'm going to see if I can field some of these questions, but like I was mentioning, if you have your visa approved, we're here to help with housing. Housing is a very individual choice, so we can help you with different options, depending on the budget and depending on what you kind of imagine your lifestyle being. Typically, students either prefer to live closer to campus, which is in a really, really nice, quiet, safe area surrounded by nature. The downside for some students in that location is there's not a whole lot to do within, walking distance. So the students who need a little bit more activities surrounding them tend to live in busier parts of the city, whether it be downtown or in La Jolla, and then they commute to school. So both are fine. It's really up to you. We can help you navigate that. And then I saw a lot of you who are admitted have not yet gone through the visa process. So just a big general, it's for a lot of students right now, it's still challenging to get dates. There's a lot of backlog from COVID still. So a lot of demand, dates, it can be hard to get. So please, please, please start as early as possible. I believe everybody should have their I-20 at this point. If there's any issue with that, you don't have it, let us know. If you have any issues with dates, we can help with that. We do this as part of our job. So we start to learn the tips and tricks about when dates are released from the embassies and things like that. So please reach out to us on that. Am I missing questions here?
Yeah, there is a question. Can we club subjects from management and information technology?
Can you specify, Mohammed, what you mean by that? Like, are you interested to know the courses in the management and information technology area?
Or maybe combine them and mix and match? Is how I
think club, yeah, I think that's what they probably meant.
Yes, actually, we have an option which I did not mention, which we call create your own concentration or specialization, where we allow students to pick and choose any courses from the available concentrations. If you're not interested in one particular concentration that we offer, but would rather learn a little bit about, multiple subjects, multiple areas, you are able to do that, definitely. Again, something that you would discuss with your academic advisor or myself once you start the program, but that is an option. And if you're interested, this is kind of a side note, but you are also able to do a dual degree with, let's say, MSDA, if you're interested in technology and you would like to add that to your MBA degree, you can also do that, complete your MBA and MSDA, for example. So that is an option that you can inquire about once you are in our program.
And just to add the follow-up question from Mohammed, and I just want to point out as a really special thing about Alliant, asking if you would be able to speak with Dr. Kumar and speak with Dr. Ozier when you arrive. Absolutely, and that's a special thing about this school. It's a small private school that really is a tight community. So you have access to the dean, you have access to the program director, to your professors. That's no problem at all. You're going to get to know them very well. So yeah, I think they actually, I mean, I don't want to speak for them, but they kind of expect you to engage and to ask those questions. That's what we're all here for. So that's what sets this university apart from other universities where maybe you can get lost, or maybe you're just a number, or you can see your advisor once a month or whatever. That's something that really sets this university apart.
There's a question about WhatsApp or Instagram for admitted students. So I've actually added the link for the Instagram for EduConnect, and there is a Facebook resource group as well for CSML students. So I've added that link as well if you'd like to join that. We don't have a WhatsApp group at the moment, but if you do want to contact on WhatsApp, we do have a WhatsApp number. So I'll write that in as well. And you can, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to message there.
And then I'm sure a lot of you have been working with or hearing from Trisha Pineda. Trisha is our MBA specialist. So if you'll probably see in your inbox, you've received emails from her, calls or WhatsApp messages from her. She's a really good resource as well that can help you through this process. And I'll put her email in the chat as well.
Well, someone is asking about the timings for the evening classes. What hours?
Thank you. Thank you. I missed that one. Yes, so our classes, evening classes start at 5:30 p.m. and they run about 4 hours. So between 5:30 and 9:30 usually is when our classes are scheduled. And they are once a week. So you do not have to be on campus multiple times. If you are taking 2 classes, you will be on campus twice in a week. Correct. It is 2 times a week. Each class meets once a week and for about 4 hours. And if you're taking 2 classes, which is what we recommend, you will be on campus twice.
Yeah, so international students take 2 courses in both in any term. And so each course meets, like Dr. Ozier is saying, once a week. And since you're taking 2 courses, you will be here once a week for each course, so twice a week overall, all the time. And that classes start in the evening, so you can do your practical training. You can be working in a practical site or doing a project, any which way.
I will put, see a question here about scholarships. I will put the link to that in the chat. So Alliant does offer scholarships to international students. That's something else that not all universities have. So Alliant offers the same tuition to domestic and international students. They offer the same scholarships to domestic and international students. There are different types of scholarships that are going to be relevant and applicable to different people. So I will get that link on there so you can see which ones work for you. You do need to be admitted and confirmed to the university to apply for those. So that's just a general statement. So I'll get that link in the message, but the bottom line is yes, there are grants and scholarships available to international students.
So research is actually integrated into your classes. We have what we call industrial research projects, one of the required courses in the program, and that is where you would do research. Your instructor will guide you, and we want that research to be as much as possible connected to your concentration area. So let's say if you are specializing in digital marketing, this course will be an opportunity for you to dive deeper into the research aspect, understand the industry, understand the different developments in the field. So that is where the research is. We do not have a completion thesis required. Instead, as I said, we combine the practical and the research together to make it more valuable to our students for their career goals.
And just to add on that, I know this has been talked about a lot on this meeting, but I think it's really important to think about why you want to get a degree. For a lot of people, it's that extra level of education, which Alliant provides really good quality education. But for a lot of people, it's really to get a better job, to elevate yourself in your career. So everything that we've talked about the practical opportunities, and like Dr. Ozier just mentioned about everything, when we think about how this program is offered, it's really how is it going to help you, get the skills and the education that you need to advance yourself in your degree. And this is a program that really has a couple different benefits. Dr. Kumar mentioned it's very international, but as it is in the US, a lot of the techniques, it's a very American management approach. So you get the best of both. So you're going to be around students and teachers that are from the US, but also abroad from other countries. We're going to bring their knowledge of business from their countries, but you're also going to learn really key American management concepts that you'll be able to apply, whether it be in the US or abroad. And keep in mind too, that when you finish your degree program, you have your practical opportunities that are embedded throughout, but you also are then eligible for optional practical training following your program. So you have up to 12 months. This is something that you apply for, that the university would help you apply for if you're interested and you have a position where you can stay in the US and work for up to 12 months and really kind of practice those, the things that you've learned and implement the research you've read in your job. So when you finish, you have the degree and you have the experience that's really going to elevate your career. All right, and I see, I'm so glad that some of you have that your visa. So the next step, once you get your visa approved, is that Alliant will send an enrollment agreement. And that's kind of the point where you really confirm your enrollment with Alliance. You go through and you sign that enrollment agreement. Once that step is done, that's when you're able to be registered for classes when that time comes. So that's really kind of the last part of the admissions process. And then it really moves into the academic side where you're getting enrolled in your classes. Then once you make sure to keep us posted on your arrival. And once you arrive, you'll check in with the DSO to make sure, you know, everything is set. And you will be receiving more information about that, whether it be the enrollment agreement, orientation, that will come later. Orientation, we get a lot of questions about that, is the week before class starts. The exact day of the week, I do not believe is determined at this point, but really encourage you to be in San Diego that entire week before so that you can get settled in, that you can finalize any things you need to finalize before your classes start. So orientation will be the week before, and you will get information on all of this. And if you're waiting and you don't want to wait, please feel free to reach out and we can give that to you personally as well.
It's so good to see that so many of the students have already reached all the documentation, all complete, visas, enrollment agreements signed. I mean, I'm so impressed with this whole group, and therefore looking forward to seeing you very soon.
And there is a question about the San Diego, the lifestyle in the city. Jessica, I don't know.
Sure.
If you can answer that.
Yeah, there's really something for everybody. And we have really good relocation guides that kind of go in depth about the different areas. So like I mentioned, the university is located in an area that's really kind of like quiet and safe and just like really beautiful, but it's kind of set aside, you know, it's not in a big urban area. And then some students live in downtown San Diego. So whether you live there or not, it's a great place to go, right on the beach. A lot of outdoor cafes. San Diego has a really unique architecture style. It's very international, multicultural. San Diego is located close to Mexico. So there's a lot of Mexican influence, really great Mexican food, food from all over the world, honestly. There's Little Italy is a big kind of famous part of San Diego. So really great Italian food. And then there's also students typically like to live and go to La Jolla, which is near. And that there's a lot of university students from other schools as well. So really whatever is your thing, you'll be able to find a place in San Diego, whether you want to just be like closer to campus, kind of smaller area, or where the action is, you'll be able to really pick either. There is public transportation in San Diego. A lot of students who live farther from campus will take public transportation, or they will share Uber and Lyft. We use that a lot in San Diego. But it's beautiful. I mean, you've seen the pictures, it's just like that. So you can even campus would be, it's like kind of like a, what would you say, like a 15-minute drive to the ocean?
Yeah.
So yeah, so you can go study at the beach in the morning and then go to class in the evening.
15-minute drive from any point to the best oceans and beaches that people come to visit from everywhere.
Yeah, oceans and beaches. And then you have mountains as well. So if you're a mountain person, you can go drive to the mountains. You can go to Julian and get their famous pies, which is something that I like. We don't, that's not near me. So it's really like what you hear. You can go to the mountains, you can go to the ocean, you can go to Mexico, you can go up to LA, which is about 3-hour drive north. So there's a lot of things to do.
So Jessica, you have more questions.
Okay. Let's see. Orientation will be the week before, and the exact date will be announced soon. Yes, and I'll put my email on here too, so you can always reach out to me. And just to reiterate, there's no housing on campus. It's all housing that you secure on your own, and we can provide you references for that. And then I know there are some students who have dependents who they're bringing. And I would say the Scripps Ranch area where Alliant is, there's a lot of families. In fact, there's a school right by Alliant. So there are a lot of schools in the area. That would probably be a good question to reach out and ask Trisha so that she's aware that she can maybe send you some of those resources too. Yeah, it's a really nice area. I know we're all biased, but it's really nice.
There's a question, is there campus placement after 2-year MBA? Can you explain what you mean, campus placement? Just to kind of remind everybody, the MBA program is actually around 1 year, 12 to 14 months. And then you will get, as Jessica was saying, a 12 months of OPT. So you will have the opportunity to potentially have practical training up to 2 years, depending on when you locate the practical training site or the project. But the MBA program itself will not be 2 years. So, yeah. Jessica.
I was just going to add, yeah, so really a lot of the students will complete the MBA, like Dr. Ozier said, 12 to 14 months. Do keep in mind you have the 1 year OPT, and then what some students decide to do is you have a year of OPT for every academic level you complete. So if you it really depends on your goals and the job that you want to get. But what some students do, some students get their MBA, their experience, they're good to go. That's what they need in their career. Some students decide to continue on to their DBA. And so just a reminder, there is this really great opportunity that we discussed with the fast track courses where you're taking your MBA classes like normal, and this is something you can decide later. If you decide to continue on to your DBA, you can get credit for your MBA courses that you've already taken, that you've already paid for. Those are courses that you kind of get to like double dip for both programs if you decide to continue on. So it's something you can think about later. But when you continue on to your DBA, you have the same opportunities in terms of the part-time practical training while you study. And then once you finish your DBA, you have the opportunity for another 12 months of OPT. So that's just something to consider, that is a path if you're looking for to get that postgraduate higher level of degree for your position.
Any other questions?
Great, you have everyone's emails by now. Glad got a chance. Thank you for joining us. Like everyone has been saying, any questions anytime later, do contact any one of us of the teams within the academic team in Alliant, as well as EduConnect's team. We are looking forward to seeing you, and I'm so happy to see how goal-directed and how all set and ready this group has been.
And August is coming up so fast.
Yeah.
August is such a great time to start. It's kind of that traditional start date in the US, so it's a bigger start date. There's going to be students from other programs starting at the same time. So, now we're getting into a place where things are more towards normal, and I'm, of course things can change, but I'm very excited about that. I think it's going to be a really great start date.
Yeah. And once you are here, everything actually falls into place very quickly. We have, of course, an international students office and support there, but everything starts falling into place. And suddenly you look back and you say, wow, that was settling in the beginning. And now I'm just part of the system and have a large network of colleagues, classmates, friends, and then also different corporate connections. So we're looking forward to seeing you soon.
We can, at Alliant, you pay for the courses that you are taking at one time. So like we talked about, that it's in academic terms. They're 8-week terms. So you pay for the courses that you are enrolled in, and you will be paying the Friday. Tuition is due the Friday before classes start. So the tuition depends on how many courses that you take. And so like we discussed, most students take 2 courses at a time. And so depending on that, your tuition will reflect that. So we can go over that individually too, and I can share the website with you to calculate what your tuition will look like every term. But it is paid in installments every 8 weeks. And then you have your opportunities for your scholarships and your practical training as well. You can have, let me see if I can get that link real quick. You can have a personalized information session at any time. We have specific sessions that are for visa prep, but really if you have any questions, that's what we're here for. Every student is kind of different in how they like to communicate. Some are very much like email driven. We have a lot of students who communicate with us through WhatsApp. And then a lot of students just prefer to talk. I mean, sometimes you think of questions that you didn't even know you had when you're actually talking. So I'm going to share the Trisha's calendar here too. Just you can schedule an appointment at any time. Yes, so a question about the visa. So stay tuned. We're going to have a general session that we're going to go over frequently asked questions about the visa process. And Radhika will be posting information about that. If you'd rather have a personal session, go ahead and schedule with Trisha, and she'll talk to you about your very specific case in your country. Either one, we're running up on time now, but please, 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 we are so happy to answer that question. I know that is the biggest stressor of students in the process. That's the biggest question from day one, is this visa process. There's all kinds of forms with different names. You have the embassy, the consulate, you have all of that. We're here to help you with that. That's really what we kind of excel in, and what we take pride in. So please, please reach out to us, and we'll help you with that. And we'll also have a general session too, where we can hit on those overall tips and tricks. Thank you all so much. Unless there's any other last words, we'll wrap it up for today, I think.
Wonderful. Good seeing everyone, and I will log off now.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you in August.
See you in August. Bye, everybody.